Hello, I'm Nicole, a teen services librarian here at the Poudre River Public Libraries, and I'm here to share another study tip for tweens. Today I'm going to share with you some horrible reads for those of you who like spooky books, just in time for Halloween. I'm going to share a few of my favorites today, and there will be a complete list on our tween webpage soon. So let's get started. All right, are you ready to start our horrible reads? All right, here we go. Our first book is The Nest by Kenneth Opel, Chapter 1. The first time I saw them, I thought they were angels. What else could they be with their pale gossamer wings and the music that came off them and the light that haloed them? Right away, there was this feeling that they'd been watching and waiting, that they knew me. They appeared in my dreams the 10th night after the baby was born. Everything was a bit out of focus. I was standing in some kind of beautiful cave with shimmering walls like white fabric lit from outside. The angels were all peering down at me, floating in the air. Only one came close, so luminous and white. I don't know how, but I knew it was a she. Light flowed from her. She was very blurry, not at all human-looking. There were huge dark eyes and a kind of mane made of light. And when she spoke, I couldn't see a mouth moving, but I felt her words like a breeze against my face, and I understood her completely. "We've come because of the baby," she said. "We've come to help. Steve just wants to save his baby brother, but what will he lose in the bargain? For some kids, summer is a sun-soaked season of fun, but for Steve, it's just another season of worries. Worries about his sick, newborn baby brother who is fighting to survive. Worries about his parents who are struggling to cope. Even worries about the wasp nest looming ominously from the eaves. So when a mysterious wasp queen invades his dreams, offering to fix the baby, Steve thinks his prayers have been answered. All he has to do is say yes. But yes is a powerful word. It is also a dangerous one. And once it is uttered, can it be taken back? This is a story about the dangers of wishing for something at any cost, and Steve's precarious interactions with the honey-voiced wasp queen will make your skin crawl. Next is Thornhill. A lonely girl in a new town, a ghostly figure in the window, a derelict old house, and a mystery spanning the decades. Parallel stories set in different times, one told in prose and one in pictures, converge as the girl unravels the mystery of the abandoned Thornhill Institute next door. It's 1982. Mary is a lonely orphan at the Thornhill Institute for Children at the very moment that it's shutting its doors. When her few friends are all adopted or rehomed and she's left to face a volatile bully alone, her revenge will have a lasting effect on the bully, on Mary, and on Thornhill itself. Now it's 2017. Ella has just moved to a new town where she knows no one. From her room on the top floor of her new home, she has a perfect view of the dilapidated, abandoned Thornhill Institute across the way, where she glimpses a girl in the window. Determined to befriend the girl and solidify the link between them, Ella resolves to unravel Thornhill's shadowy past. Here's the first entry in Mary's diary to get you started. February 8th, 1982. I knew it was too good to last. She's back. Without even looking, I knew it. I heard her laughter echoing up the stairwell, the usual thumping on each of the doors in the corridor as she made her way back to her old room. I froze as I heard those sounds. Fear tingled into my neck and down my back as the old feeling seeped into my bones. I don't believe it. What will I do now? And here is our introduction to Ella's side of the story. It's a quick read, even though it's a hefty book, and it's great for the snowy days of winter. Half pictures and half diary entries. I recommend you read it this winter. Our next book is The Dogs by Alan Stratton. Out of the corner of my eye, I catch something moving by the barn. When I look, it disappears. Wait, there it is again, at the cornfield. Some movement. Something. Mom and I have been on the run for years. Every time he catches up with us, we move to a new place and start over. But this place is different. This place is full of secrets, and they won't leave me alone. Cameron is used to moving at a moment's notice because he and his mother are always running away from his supposedly violent father, but Cameron doesn't quite remember what his dad did to cause all this fear. However, he is extremely disturbed by their latest refuge, a creepy, deserted old farmhouse haunted by bloodthirsty dogs. And when he sees a boy hiding in the barn and finds an old picture of the same boy, he starts wondering about the possibility of ghosts, or if he's just losing his mind. As he becomes more interested in the property's grisly past, he turns a blind eye to the terror and trauma of his own past to a dangerous end. This is a brilliant, page-turning, and eerie book. It's about ghosts and danger and going mad all at once. If you like a good scare, you will enjoy The Dogs by Alan Stratton. And next we have The Night Gardener by Jonathan Auxier. Molly and Kip are driving a fish cart, pulled by a horse named Galileo, to their deaths. That's what everyone's been telling them anyway. Living without parents, Molly sees herself as her brother's guardian and is intent upon finding a safe place for the both of them. When she's hired to work as a servant at the mysterious Windsor estate, she thinks the job might be too good to be true. Indeed, the place, located deep in something called the Sour Woods, is a decrepit old mansion falling apart at the seams. The locals avoid it and advise the kids to do so too. Things are even stranger inside. The people who live in the hollow home appear to be pale and withdrawn. Does it have something to do with the locked room that Molly has been warned not to open? Maybe. I wonder what's behind that door. And it isn't long before Molly and Kip discover the mysterious night gardener, who enters the house unbidden every evening, tending to a tree that seems to have a life of its own. A tree that can grant your heart's desire if you would like, and all at once in return, nothing you'd ever miss, just a piece of your soul. Help me grow tall, and you shall receive all that you wish inside of me. And our last book today, can't believe we're in our last book, is Took, a Ghost Story by the infamous Mary Downing Hahn. Folks say old auntie takes a girl and keeps her 50 years, then lets her go and takes another one. When Daniel's father loses his job as an executive, his family is forced to move from their comfortable Connecticut home to a rundown house in Brewster's Hill, Massachusetts. As if moving to a dilapidated house and leaving behind all his friends is not enough, no one in Brewster's Hill will speak to Daniel or his little sister Erica, except to tell them scary stories about a girl who disappeared from their house, and an old witch who haunts the woods with her monster bloody bones. Here's a short excerpt from Took. Well, old auntie lived by herself, save for this big old razorback hog she kept as a pet. She took that mean, ugly critter with her everywhere she went. Some folks said that hog walked on his hind legs like a man, and I believe he did. Well, one day, old auntie couldn't find her hog anywhere. She searched high, she searched low, no sign of him. So she got out her conjure pot and made a potion she could see things in. And you know what she saw? I shook my head. She saw this nasty old feller that lived up in the mountains. He'd been hunting razorback hogs, and one of the hogs he caught was her pet. That sneaking, thieving rascal slaughtered all the hogs and skinned them and carved off their meat and threw what was left in a heap. In that pile, old auntie saw her hog's bald head and bloody bones. So she cast a spell to summon him back from the dead. His bones put themselves together and rose up on their hind feet. His skull jumped on top of the bones, and off he danced. On the way to the sneaking, thieving rascal's house, he got some claws from a dead bear, some teeth from a dead panther, and a tail from a dead raccoon. And you can imagine what happened to that sneaking, thieving rascal. Thankfully, Daniel and Erica have each other, and they do their best to ignore the cruel taunting. However, Erica begins to withdraw, acting strange, and constantly talking to her doll. And then she disappears, leaving Daniel to find her and keep his family from falling apart. Han is a master of horror stories, and this is no exception. Well, thank you for joining us for another study tip for tweens. That was just a little taste of some of the best horror for tweens, and you can see the full list of horrible reads on our website, on the Tween webpage. Thank you, and have a happy Halloween.